So, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. In today's video, I'm going to give you guys an update on all of my tanks, especially the tank inside the house that I never really give you guys updates on, just because nothing really happens. But something bad did happen 2 weeks ago. It's kind of bad that I only give you guys updates on this tank when something crazy happens, but yeah, I just have to give you guys an update on it. And not only that something happened to the inside tank, something also happened to the Bashir tank. It's not really a good way to start 2021 off, but I mean, I would have to give you guys an update on it anyway, so here it is.
Remember those days, those L's, I couldn't sleep right now. I get paid, vacay, I'm staying B-side. Breaking the blues over steak, I gotta eat right. You could be my peace sign.
So I'm gonna go ahead and cut straight to the chase. My small datnoid eventually killed my medium datnoid. I literally took this Instagram video the night before the datnoid died, this one right here, and I have no idea how it happened. Like, look at these two. No aggression, no fin damage, no body damage, nothing. Healthy looking datnoids, and the tank is not even super overstocked. There's like 5 fish in a 100-something gallon, and this fish just ended up dying. I'm not too sure if it's the water quality. We eventually did a big water change on it. It might have been aggression. It might have been fighting or something, but from the looks of this video right here, it doesn't look like they're aggressive towards each other, you know? What's crazy is I was literally telling my dad, like, dude, this fish is like growing up really nicely. It's really good. It's never camera shy. It comes out, and then the next day it just dies. Bad, man, bad. This datnoid was pretty big too, which is pretty nuts. So the tank inside the house is now left with the 3 threat-fin Acaras, which is growing pretty big, actually. These 3 look amazing. If you don't remember, these 3 were in my filter a long time ago, back when I had my Pyra. I had him in my filter because I was afraid the Pyra was going to kill him and stuff. These are the same 3 Acaras that I bought from back in the day. But yeah, these fish have grown amazing. Like, their dorsal fin up top is just like super long, looks like hair. I'm sure if I had better substrate, it would like color up way better than what it is now, because they're currently in a bare bottom aquarium. Before, I wanted to mainly focus on the datnoids, but as they're slowly getting picked off, and now there's 1 left, these 3 have become a centerpiece fish for this tank. I don't plan on adding any more fish into this big tank. I just want to let these fish kind of grow out, especially the dat. Yeah, man, these 3 just ended up being like the showstoppers of the tank. So I have 1 more fish in this tank, which is one of my most asked about fish ever, which is the Anabas, climbing perch. This is probably my most unique fish that I have right now. I still have him. He's still doing good. He got a little bit pale compared to being in the Bashir tank. He's just chilling in this huge tank. Doesn't really hide anymore. There's wood in there for him to hide and stuff, but he kind of chills near the Acaras. I think he feels a lot more comfortable around like fish and stuff, so he just kind of chills with them. But yeah, he's doing pretty good. Not stressed looking, never trying to jump out or anything, and they're just living life in this tank. The most I'm planning on doing with this tank is maybe moving some of my Bashirs over in case I find like a nice PBB or like a platinum Enly or something. And that's when I'm planning on moving my 2 captive bred laps in here, but that's just like little plans that I've come up with in case something like this pops up and I have to hop on the opportunity, then I will. But for the most part, this tank is going to be the grow out for the dat. I'm going to see how big I can grow him, and hopefully without any other dats around, this guy can finally grow out in this tank perfectly. So actually, one more thing. Someone asked me about the FX4 and updates on it and stuff. Still doing good. It's still quiet. It's still the same media that I'm using. I clean it out maybe about once a month, you know, just rinsing it off with tank water and stuff. But yeah, it's a good filter, and I'm honestly planning on getting an FX6 for the tanks outside, and that way I'll free up another 40 gallon where I currently have the K1 for maybe another fish or something. Maybe a kerosene, maybe like a crazy cichlid, I don't know. But that's how good the FX4 is. Second thing I'm gonna give you guys an update on is the Goldfish Tank. Currently there's 3 goldfish in this tank. 1 is in the cage. If you haven't watched my previous videos, that's the Oranda. It's dealing with like a floating issue. So I've tried everything with this fish. I'm currently on the cage up the fish towards the upper portion of the tank technique, and it's kind of working. He's not floating upside down anymore, but I noticed that if I were to take him outside of the cage, he'll have floating issues. So when he's in the cage towards the top of the tank, he has no issues, but when he comes out of that cage, that's when he'll start having floating issues. So while the Aranda's in the cage, I'm feeding him strictly green peas, vegetation and stuff like duckweed and floating lettuce. No pellets, just because I don't need any other types of random solids to kind of clog up his insides. And I know he doesn't like it, but it's what's good for him. Someone did comment in my previous videos that there was a food out there called Kenta. Actually, he commented a long time ago. I give him props for that. He brought it up twice, actually. The first time he brought it up, I didn't really look into it. I never heard of Kenta, and I looked it up a little bit. I couldn't find it on like Amazon and stuff. And then he brought it up again in the last video, so I had to check it out again. I found a seller that was selling it on eBay, so I went ahead and ordered one pack, and we're just gonna try it out and see how it goes. I'm really looking forward to using the Kenta pellets because, I mean, if this works, I'll pass the info on to you guys, and you guys will know all about it. But yeah, just stay tuned for that, and we'll keep you guys updated. So one more thing that I'm planning on adding into the Goldfish tank is this filter right here. I'm not too sure if you've seen this before in the JDM tanks and the tanks over in Asia, but it's pretty much like a air powered toilet per se. What you do is you hook up an air line to this little filter right towards the top, and then there's a propeller towards the top portion of the filter, and that, you know, pushes water through this thing. And you see that cone area? It pretty much collects all of the poop and detritus and stuff in that area, and then you pick this up and throw it all away. So instead of the poop and all that random detritus being all around your tank, like what's happening with my Goldfish tank, I can have it all stuck in this little filter right here. You can see this on a lot of JDM tanks, those bare bottom, like the crazy MFK fish keepers and stuff from Asia. A lot of them have this filter, especially with Bashirs and stuff, but I'm gonna use it for a Goldfish tank. Hopefully it works. I've been wanting to get this filter for a long time. I've just been really sketchy about it. So this is a Instagrammer I follow for Bashirs. Look at that. That's the same filter that I was just talking about, and he's using it for his Bashir tank. You'll see a lot of tanks like this over in Asia, like with this little bucket in there, and I've always wondered what it was. So now we're gonna go ahead and see how it works with my tank. But yeah, besides that, the Goldfish tank is doing good. Ranchu is growing nicely. Body shape is really, really good. And the fantail, for some reason, developed a wen. Fantails, I thought they're not supposed to have wens, but mine has a pretty cool wen actually. And yeah, he's doing pretty good. Before I moved out, they were really, really fat. I ended up putting them on the green diet, and they're starting to slim down a lot more, especially the fantail. And I know the Randa is getting a lot skinnier because he's eating more greens. And then the little Ranchu, just being a little Ranchu. The thing I noticed about this Ranchu is his growth rate is really slow. No matter how much they eat, I mean, they eat a lot. I mean, look at the poop. Every footage I have of these two fish, they're pooping like crazy. So they're eating good. They have clean water all the time. And they have enough space to grow in this 40B. And yeah, man, they just take a long time to grow. Hopefully we have a big, nice Ranchu in the future. Never spilled. Hold on, let me grab my laundry real quick. Now, the last thing I'm gonna give you guys an update on is the Bashir system, which is the Bashir tank and the sump that's with that tank. So initially I had two geophagus in this tank. I saw them like doing a little mating dance and stuff. I thought that they were like a pair, but then I came back. Actually, I read a text from my pops. He sent me this little picture right here. Dead, dude. That's a upside down dead geo. Bad, man. Alright guys, so I'm sitting here editing the video, and it's just so weird that these two fish went down together so soon around the same time. So I went ahead and did some investigation, trying to ask my parents if anything crazy happened over the past week or two. So I found this right here. I have a utility tech coming to the house, and I asked my parents what was going on. Apparently they had their water heater changed during the same time that these two fish passed, and I think it might have something to do with it. So as you can see, the guy's rolling out our old water heater, and apparently my parents' house has been having issues with their water heater for a while now. So I asked my parents. They changed it a couple times during the past few weeks, and I think that's the reason why these two passed. But I don't want to be pointing fingers or blaming anything, but you know, it is what it is. These certain things happen. If you have any kind of situation where you're going through different water sources or different sources of heating and stuff, Just double up on like water conditioner and stuff, because maybe there was something that was in the water that killed these two. It was just so odd that these two passed during the same times. Again, I'm not 100% sure if this is the reason why these two passed, but I just wanted to bring it up. Alright, back to the video. Now I'm left with one geo in there. I tried adding this specific one into the tank with the Akaras. Wasn't doing good. I didn't like the brightness of that tank. Had to put him back into the Bashir tank. And now he's just chilling with the Bashirs. Sometimes he's actually chilling literally next to and laying on the Bashir sometimes. So he's okay in that tank, so I'm just going to leave him as is. I was going to buy more geos, but I thought about it. If I were to come across like a Platinum Enly or something, or like another PBL, or even a PBB, I want to save space for that. Which is the reason why I had the option of transferring my CB laps into the tank inside. Because I know that my captive bred laps aren't going to grow too big. I always have the option of moving them into the tank inside if something like that ever comes across. So if one of my boys hits me up and says, hey, there's a Platinum Enly out there, I can go pick it up. I'll always have room to move fish around and stuff. But I did add more fish into this tank though. You can't really see them right now, but I added more Ember Tetras. Let me explain. So when I first added Ember Tetras into this tank, I added 6. Now there's 4 left, and it's been about, I don't know, a month or 2. They're just eating the little bits and pieces from the Bashir's food. The Geo doesn't chase them around at all. The 4 initially were doing really, really good, and I decided to get more. So I went to my buddy's LFS, which is Superway over in Hayward. If you're in the Bay Area and you want some fish, you have to visit Superway. There's a lot of nice like LFSs around the area, but Superway is my go-to. That's pretty much where I got almost all of my Bashirs from. Actually, I got all of my Bashirs from Superway. Go hit them up. Anyways, so the LFS only had 5 Ember Tetras. I tried to buy more just to make that shoaling effect, but I only had 5. Went ahead, brought them back to the house, acclimated them and stuff, and added them into this tank. And I haven't checked on them since, because if you don't know, I actually live in a different house from my Bashir tank and all my systems and stuff. So today's actually going to be the first day that we're going to go back and check up on these fish. But just note that we initially added in 4, and then we went ahead and added in 5 more, so we should have 9 in this tank. So, oh, you can see them right here. You see them kind of swimming around? So I was counting them the other day, and I only counted 7, which is the bad part. I couldn't find the other 2. It could be my computer lagging or my screen lagging and stuff, but we're gonna go back and check up on these fish and see how they're doing. From the looks of it right now, from what I see, they're doing pretty good. The Geo doesn't mind them. And that's actually another reason why I didn't get more Geos, because I didn't know the temperament of the new ones. I didn't want to buy more Geos to go with this one and then they end up killing all my Ember Tetras. That'd be horrible. But yeah, these little Tetras, they're too small for the Bashirs to kind of chase around, so they don't really care about them. As you can see, the Embers right there, but the Bashirs are all chilling right there. The Bashirs don't care about the Embers. They're way too small for them to even try to eat, so that's why it works so well in this tank. We're actually heading back to the house today, and I'll go ahead and give you guys an update on the sump. As you remember, like there's 2 loaches in there. They're just kind of taking care of all the snails and stuff. As you can see, the tank has no snails. I don't know if the loaches are putting in work from the sump and it's just reflecting the results to the tank, but there is no snails in the substrate. They're cutting down the population and stuff a little bit too fast. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and just wrap things up over here, finish up my work day, and then we're gonna go ahead and head back to the house and check up on the fish. Alright guys, we're back at the house. Let's go ahead and check up on these fish. We have a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 fish. So this is kind of the same thing what happened last time. We added 6 and we ended up with 4. And then this time we added in 5 to make it 9, and now we're at 7. So I think this is the squad right here, but we're gonna wait a couple days just to make sure that these guys are okay. Hopefully these guys do good and they'll last a long time in this tank, because they actually do really good with cleaning up the food from these guys right here. Oh yeah, someone asked about the snails that's in this tank. Here's one of them right here. So you can see he's just doing his thing, cleaning up the glass. Antennas are pretty long, surprisingly. And there's another one that likes to hide over here somewhere. Where's the other one? Wait a minute, I can find him. Oh, here he is. So the other one's right here. So Usually they'll hide on the glass or in the corners, or they'll just roam around in the substrate and kind of burrow themselves like that. I'm gonna actually check the sump real quick. Yeah, this airstone is really putting in work because you can see it got rid of all the dead spots that was here and over there. And yeah, man, it's a whole lot of oxygen because I have a lot of oxygen in this tank too. But yeah, adding in that bigger air pump right there totally helped out with getting more for these systems. If I see any embers in this tank section, I'll let you know. The reason why I'm checking this again, if you don't know, is because the bulkhead that's here, it flows behind the tank through that pipe right there, and then it comes down here and flows into here, and then the pump is in there somewhere, and then it pumps water back in through this outlet tube thing. Look at the plants though. The plants are going crazily. The nutrients from the Bashirs and the cleanup crew and stuff helping me out with like detritus. So you can see it right there. And then all these floating plants right here, they really put in that work, man. Because honestly, without all these plants right here, I'll probably have hella nitrates in the Bashir tank. Got Anubias growing, got ferns growing. I have some anacris right there, a little bit of hornwort right there, and a lot of water lettuce. But yeah, man, that's the sump. If you guys were ever wondering how they're doing and stuff, honestly, I think it looks pretty good. Every time I record him, he always has poop coming out of him. It's crazy. This algae project is getting kind of out of hand. This is what it looked like last time, but I scraped it all off out of curiosity. But I want to have algae grow out on the sides and the bottom of the walls, so that's why I'm kind of letting it go. And I also have my light on a crazy timer, so there's an excess amount of light, so much so that I have to use this piece of paper to kind of block off the light that goes into where the Oranda's at. So just so it's like not super bright on his back. But yeah, man, I'm just letting the light go crazy. And it's honestly producing a lot of algae. It's just not the look I'm going for yet. Hopefully these algae walls look good soon, because this is looking really nasty. Look at this guy. Look at the wind on this guy, man. Crazy, man. So yeah, like I said, for this Bashir tank, all that's left when it comes to geos is this one right here, and then these guys right here that's kind of just roaming around in the tank. Honestly, I think it's really cool. I want to add more, but my local fish store, like I said, didn't have enough embers for me to purchase, so that's why I wanted to test with these guys. If these guys last like another month or two, I'm gonna plan on adding maybe like 5 more, just to do it over and over again until we have a good shoal. I think when they first come into the tank, the reason why like maybe 2 or 3 of them die off in the beginning is because they're not used to all this space. Because these fish kind of come from like 10-gallon tanks in the LFS, and when you put them in here, especially with like these guys, I know that they're not eating them because they can honestly care less. Honestly, if these Bashirs really wanted to eat these guys right here, they would have been all gone already. So yeah, that's pretty much it for today's video. One last update that I can give you guys is I spoke to my landlord over at the other house, and they're allowing me to add fish tanks. In the beginning they said no pets, but apparently they were talking about like dogs and hamsters and birds and shit. They weren't thinking about fish. So when I brought it up to him, he said that fish tanks are cool just as long as I take care of like the floors and stuff. But yeah, man, we got the green light to get some fish tanks for the other house. I kind of want to do a Pico Reef. I had one before in the past, but then the corals crashed and everything like died off and stuff, so that's why I kind of steered away from it. But another thing I want to do is a small planet tank with like little tetras and stuff, or the little rasboras, and like a whole carpet, like maybe Monte Carlo plants again. So I have no idea what I'm going to do over there. So yeah, that's it for today's video. So make sure you guys stay tuned for updates on the Oranda's floating progress, the Ember Tetras being in the Bashir tank, maybe changes to the Sump, maybe adding an FX6 to this tank. But yeah, again, thank you guys for watching. Thanks for sticking around. 2021 should be a really cool year. A lot of fun projects and stuff. And yeah, man, we're just going to keep doing it. So I'd like to thank you guys for watching. Again, stay tuned for the next one. And peace, guys.